to TMX New Adventures. My name is Lisa Keegan, and this week I'm inspiring you with fast and easy dinners in the Thermomix. So whether you've got a TM31, a TM21, a TM5, a TM6, a thermo cooker, you can take these recipes, and I'm doing most of them manually, and actually make them on your machine really easily and quickly. So come with me today. I'm going to show you my favorite mince, and it's packed with veggies. If you want one to follow along, you can go to cookiedoo.com.au and you'll find chunky bolognese. It's not as simple. It's got more ingredients, however it's guided, which does kind of make it simple. But yeah, just come today and watch 3 steps and you'll be cooking along to this in no time in your own kitchen. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a onion, which I can't find, so I'll have to do that in a second. We're going to add an onion chopped in half ordinarily. We're going to add then some carrots, which I don't bother peeling, some zucchini chopped in, you can see how big they're chopped, and just put that into the bowl. We're also, imagine I've just put an onion in there because I don't know where it is, we'll just go with that. But we're also going to put some yummy garlic in as well. So normally a clove of garlic, but I'm using paste. So in with about a teaspoon, because that's about the equivalent of a paste. Probably should have used a spoon for this job instead. But anyway, now we're going to chop this off, which doesn't take long. It only takes 3 seconds on speed 5, and you can listen and cook with your ears and hear when it's done. So I'm going to spin this up to speed 5 and listen to when it's done. That sounds pretty done to me. Now, it depends how you like your veggies. If you've got picky family members who need the veggies completely hidden, then cut it further, chop it down further, slice, scrape down the sides and repeat that step. If you like it a bit chunky, leave it a bit chunky. So we've got that beautifully chopped down in there. Now we're going to add some oil to that because that's kind of what allows it to caramelize off. And we're going to put in our simmering basket. Now in my simmering basket is 500 grams of mince, just beef mince. And we're going to add some things on top of that. We're going to add to it a tin of diced tomatoes, or you could probably cut up some cherry tomatoes or even fresh tomatoes and put them on top if you wanted to. So in that goes. Now this is important to have this on top. What it does is it actually adds moisture to the mince. We're then going to add some of our beautiful veggie stock paste. This saves you a bucket load of money. You do not need to buy beef, chicken, veggie stock, powders, paste, liquids, because you've got this and it turns into all those things. So make your veggie stock paste. We're going to put in a heaped teaspoon. Okay, if I was doing my massive batch where I put it on the varoma on top, it would have a tablespoon. But we're making a half batch, we're making 500 gram batch, so we don't want to put that much in, it'd be too salty. Similarly with the tomato paste, a heaped teaspoon as well on top. There we go. So those are in. Now we're going to put the lid on. Now this, if you don't have this flap because you've got a TM whatever else, that's okay. It will work perfectly fine as well. I'm going to put the lid on, put that in place, measuring cup in place, and we're going to cook this for 15 minutes. So 15 minutes, varoma speed 2. Now this is going to create steam with those veggies that's going to come up and it's going to cook the mince, and we're going to then come back in 15 minutes, break it up into the texture we like, and we're going to then cook it for another 15 minutes before it's done. When I come back in 15 minutes, I'm actually going to show you how to cook pasta in a thermo server. Really simple, quickly and easily to then accompany this for dinner. So I will see you in 14 and a half minutes to show you the next step. See you soon. Okay, I'm back. I've actually got distracted. It's been sitting here for a while, but let's continue on with the recipe. So in the top here, it looks pretty much the same as we left it. Like you can still see the tomato, diced tomatoes on top, the tomato paste, but you'll see as you start working it with the spatula that there's chunks in there. So you'll notice, particularly I find around the bottom of the simmering basket, there are definite little chunks where it's kind of cooked. I don't know if you guys can see that there, but you can see the difference between the pink and the cooked, the brown. So you do want to make sure you scrape in the sides and break up those chunks unless you like it really chunky. So I know mince is one of those things that a lot of people have struggled with in the Thermomix, especially if you're cooking it within the bowl. And I love this method because it's kind of foolproof. forces me to come back and break it up to a texture we like and not get too fine like it does in the bowl method. We do finish this in the bowl though, so I am going to tip it in the bowl and give it a stir at the end to mix it through with the beautiful veggies. One thing to note on this recipe is depending on your mince, you can end up with a different thickness. So some days you'll end up with a waterier product and some days a thicker one, and it really comes down to how much water they've pumped into your mince before we've bought it. If you end up with a watery one, the trick is 1 tablespoon of corn flour in a little bit of water, just probably like a little bit, big heaped teaspoon of corn flour. Shake it up or stir it up and then put it into your bowl. This is at the very end. This is after you combine it all together. And what that does, as long as your mix is still over 90 degrees, is it will thicken it up to just be absolutely beautiful. So that's how you go about thickening it if you do find that they've pumped your mince full of water and it's just not right. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this now. I've got rid of all the major chunks. Now it's actually only got another, the original recipe says 15 minutes, but I find it only needs 10. So I'm just going to put 10 minutes on the timer. It probably helps as well that I did, you know, this has been sitting here for nearly 15 minutes, being neglected while I got other stuff done. And this is the beauty of Thermomix cooking, right? It's not going to burn the house down. It doesn't need tending to until you get back to tend to it. Now, I promised that I was going to show you how to do cooking pasta in a thermoserver, which is going to take 15 minutes. So I'll just grab my boiled water and I'm going to show you that in a second. So hang tight for that. Okay, I had to reboil the jug. So there's a tip to this. You need your thermoserver, and if you don't have a thermoserver, reach out, let's book a demo, use the link, and you can get a demo to get yourself a discounted thermoserver. But what we need to do is we need to preheat it. We need to take the chill out of the stainless. So I put a little bit of boiling water in there, which I'm going to just tip aside, and now we need to work fast. We need to put our pasta, and I'm using a gluten-free pasta, into here as much as you need. Hang on, having trouble with the working fast. There we go. Do make sure there's a gap at the top. You don't want to fill it all the way to the top. Cover with boiling water, plus a wee bit more if you can. I tend to use my whole kettle, which is I think a 1 litre kettle. Do give it a stir now because you need to break up the pasta and then very quickly lid on. Now the other trick is don't peek. Okay, in this time it needs to sit for the 12 to 15 minutes as per packet, and I just come back to it when it's done. Like this has got 5 minutes longer, this will take 15 minutes like the packet says, and mine is gluten free. You can use standard pasta. This method works with rice as well, but we just leave it. The trick is not to peek. If you peek, it's going to drop 5 degrees each time. So no peeking, no touching, just leave it do its thing. And come back later and we're going to strain it. So while you're waiting for this step, if you're cooking along, grab your Varoma. We're going to need to strain it into something and we'll use that as a colander. And I'm just going to use a thermoserver to strain that liquid into it. So I look forward to seeing you in about 5 minutes time to finish that, and then we'll strain this and I'll show you the final product. I'm so excited to show you this recipe. It is such a great hidden veggie recipe that's done in such little time in your kitchen. So I'll see you soon. Okay, so that's finished its cook time and we're going to now transfer it all together. So we're going to put those beautiful, the mince in with the veggies. Now, I know a question you might be thinking is, Lise, that didn't have any water underneath to steam it. And no, it doesn't need it. Okay, so even when I do the massive batch of this where it's 1 litre of 1 kilo of mince and 1 and a bit litres of veggies, it doesn't need the liquid underneath. The veggies are the liquid component that create the steam, okay? And you can double this recipe and put it in the Varoma instead. So just gonna put this aside on there. So using your spatula to remove that really super duper hot mince mix. Now put it all together. We need to give it a bit of a stir, and I'm gonna show you the final texture of this beautiful stuff in here. Oh, I'm flicking it everywhere. So mine is not runny. Probably also because I didn't chop my veggies down massively. That certainly makes a difference because that still gives it texture. So I'll just show you what it looks like in here if I can lift some up to show you, maybe. I'll have to grab a spoon or I'll have to pour it over the pasta. I'll pour it over the pasta in a second and show you. So talking about pasta, I don't know that it's been 15 minutes yet, and I can't open it early, otherwise you'll just lose that heat and it won't work. So let me return in 5 more minutes, and I reckon it'll be done by then, and I will show you how to strain your pasta. I'll find a spoon to show you this as well. So take care, and I'll see you in a second. Okay, let's finish this off, and I've got a bowl so I can show you that mince as well, but this should be well and truly done by now. The beautiful thing about cooking it in a thermoserver is I actually find you can't overcook it either. I don't think I have left it too long, but when I have in the past got distracted, which is easily done in my kitchen, it never seems to go bad. Like, it never goes too far. So, but look at that, perfect, absolutely amazing. So I have over here my Varoma, and that's like a colander, and I've just got a thermoserver under there, and I'm just going to tip the really hot, piping hot water. It is still piping hot, so please be careful. And I'm going to drop that into there. So now I've got an empty bowl as well. So look at that. Is that not just dripping a bit? Hang on. There we go. Look at that. Perfectly cooked pasta in a thermoserver. How cool is that? So now all we got to do is put it all together. So what I might do is I might just put this in here. Oh, except I missed half of it. Anyway, I'll come back and clean that later. Let me show you the beautiful texture on this. And of course, depending on how you serve it, you may decide to serve it up into a bowl like so. Put some in a beautiful bowl. And then I'm just going to clean up my mess. Excuse me for a second. There we go. You can see how beautiful that's cooked, hey? Nice and soft. I think there's another bit under the front of the Thermi. There it is. All right. Let's grab that bowl, and now let me show you the beautiful finished product here as well. So, can you guys see that? You can. Look at that. Is that not just delicious? Veggie packed, full of good stuff for the family, ready to go. It could be on nachos, it could be in a lasagna, it could be with mashed potato for shepherd's pie or cottage pie. The opportunities are pretty much endless with it. So there's so many things you can do with the mince that's packed full of veggies as well. So I hope you've learned some hints and tips and skills for your thermomixing today. I hope you'll give a go to pasta in your thermoserver, and if you don't have a thermoserver, I hope you'll reach out. Let's jump online together if you live in Australia and get you one of those discounted so that you can cook your pasta and your rice and keep food hot or cold for a couple of hours in one of those. But otherwise, take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video soon. Bye for now.